In our first world country, we often have all of our needs provided to us in a safe and secure manner. This often leads to us to think about what we are truly capable of achieving. After reading David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, I invited him to speak on my podcast about breaking limitations, and here's what he had to say.
About 40% of their capability. So the mind has a governor, like a car. If you're driving a car and the car has a governor on it, the car may say 130 miles an hour, but the governor is set for 91. Once that governor sets in, you get to 91, that car starts doing this. The car wants to go. The car wants to go, but that fucking factory said, we're not going past 91. We have a factory, a nice governor in our brain, and it's a survival mechanism. It protects us from pain and suffering. The second we feel that shit, our mind says, oh no, this isn't fun. We should back off. We should sit down, find something more comfortable.
After hearing this, I thought of an experiment that I could do to see if I'm able to take this advice and push myself to my limits. So I called up one of my colleagues and set out on a journey to test my strength. The objective of this activity is to push my mental and physical limits and to study how I feel afterwards. In order to do this, I chose the Caldar Jack Pine Barrens Conservation Area. It's a conservation area which is 3 hours northeast of Toronto. I estimate the hike to be between 16 to 24 kilometers of rigorous snowshoeing and rock scrambling in the backcountry wilderness. It will be an extremely long day where we estimate to be hiking for a minimum of 6 hours and the total journey to take longer than 12. I'll be pushing myself to my limits, especially with the risks associated, such as extreme cold, exposure, falling rocks and ice, bears, wolves, bobcats, and the numerous ice crossings. Okay, so I'm halfway through the experimental hike so far. I've hiked about 6.9 to 7.5 kilometers through so already. I'm excited to be out here. It's been a long day. I was up at 5, really pushing to get out here, but it's been gorgeous. Saw a couple of deer, seen a lot of tracks. We're nearing the halfway point, so I'm going to do a turnaround soon and head the 7 kilometers back. But the weather's great. It's crisp, but it's cold. I just finished up with my lunch, some hot chocolate and some snacks. But really, this hike is pushing my limits. It's been a long day. Getting out here's been quite difficult. On all these hills. So right now we're about 150 feet above the trail with my partner here. So it's been difficult. The conditions are rough, very rocky, very steep terrain, lots of ice, so we got to be careful about not falling through. But this is really pushing my limits, and we're just going to see where it goes from here. So it's been 1 week since I completed the hike. Looking back on my experience, I noticed that it draws many similar parallels to David Goggins' experience, where he ran a 135-mile race in 36 hours. He ran this race to test his mental and physical fortitude as well. During his race, we experienced many of the same difficulties, such as exhaustion, exposure, dehydration, and ultimately combating the mind of quitting. Throughout the hike, I continuously reminded myself that this pain is temporary, that in the end I'll be grateful that I pushed myself to my limits, because this is making me a better person and building resiliency and discipline. As David Goggins once said, leaning on a calloused mind in the heat of battle can shift your thinking as well. Remembering what you've been through and how that has strengthened your mindset can lift you out of a negative brain loop and help you bypass those weak, 1-second impulses to give in so you can power through obstacles. As long as I continue this mindset of resiliency, and as David calls it, a callous mindset, I'll be able to overcome any obstacles that I face in my future.